So you sit down or stand up to start a ritual, and then the first thing you will do before the sigil, before the words, or before anything else begins is you line up your physical instrument, your body. So you slow your breath, you steady your hands, and you bring your attention down out of all the noise into a single point. Now, the ancient traditions called this preparation, purification, and the sealing of the space. But what is actually happening is that you are shifting your nervous system out of a sympathetic activation and into a regulated state. And the shift is not optional, it is a prerequisite for all magical work. Because you cannot run a magical operation on a nervous system that is still firing like it's being chased. So step one always is body alignment, and you are aligning your breath, your body, your attention, and your field, because the field is the actual site of the work. So this is where it gets called field dynamics and field mechanics. And none of that is exaggerating. Like, that's the literal description of what you are doing. You are changing the coherence of your heart field and shifting your brain state. And in every ritual act that's carried out from there on follows to support that shift. So look at the fire. Like, the old system said that it focuses the will, but what is happening is entrainment. So your brain waves are syncing to a rhythmic, flickering, low complexity visual point, and that sync in will pull you out of your default chatter and into a slower, more receptive state. So you didn't need to know any of that to do it, because no one who's ever sat in front of a fire and felt themselves go quiet needed a neuroscience degree to get the results. But if you want to get good at this, like if you want to run all of this on purpose, refine it, and build it into something that is repeatable, then understanding the mechanism is what lets you upgrade the practice from just performing it. And then once you have the foundation, that is when you bring in your imagination, not before, because the imagination is the tool that you use once the field is prepared and once your state is right, because this is when you got to start tracking your own system. Because anything that anyone has ever taught you about magic, everyone who has ever channeled something, received something, discovered something in a cave or a desert or a dream, went through this exact same process, whether they had the words for it or not. It does not matter where they said it came from. What matters is that they went deep enough into themselves to come back with a working system. And what they brought back were principles, not commandments, and nothing in any way that says that like you must do it this way or that way. And that's the whole point where people get lost. Like, people study the Masonic literature like it's scripture, memorize Salamic correspondences like law, and never ask the obvious question. Like, why would you inherit a fixed system built by people, for people, in a time that is no longer your time? That was their upgrade. This is yours. That's why I built my own language for the work. Like, I call it Vorolith, and it has nothing to do with anything outside of my work. It's mine, and it operates at the subconscious level because that's the level that I'm working with. Nobody handed me permission to build my entire new system. I built it because sovereignty is the actual teaching underneath every real tradition, not specific symbols or sovereignty to make it your own. Like, imagine spending your whole life walking somebody else's path when you were designed with the exact same capacity that they had to make one in the first place. Like, your biology is not a backdrop to the work, it is the instrument. And it is the only instrument that you will ever actually use. It's kind of on loan. But it's the most advanced tech that has ever been. It's the most advanced tech that there is. And some people call working with it manifestation, some call it attraction, but underneath all of it is one mechanism, and it runs way deeper than thoughts create reality. It runs through your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters what signals in an otherwise overwhelming field of input get to rise to your conscious awareness. The thalamic nodes really come into play here, because that's what everything goes through before it even gets to the reticular activating system. And then once you start to get really good at whatever practice that you put together, because you understand the fundamentals of how it works, then and only then after practice, it will make it over to your default mode network. And that is the identity generating background hum of your brain. It's the story that you constantly tell yourself, like when you're doing nothing at all, like your default identity. hence the whole, name and all. But the only way to get there is not by thinking about it, it's not by reading about it, watching videos about it, or not admiring people who did it before you. It is action. And you do not manifest something or do a magical working and then sit on your ass and wait for something. Action is always required. The ritual is rehearsing the state in which your body knows how to even hold the thing that you're calling in. Like, that's the practice. That is the work. Now, I've already built the protocol, and that's what this is about. So if you're watching this on Patreon, you can grab the protocol on this thread. It's available for all the paid tiers. It will also be on the website, Signal and Symbol. This goes really deep into the precise neuroscience as well as the magical operation, so that you can see it from both sides and really understand what it is that you're doing. And of course, you can grab it from archetype13.com only as far as the websites go. And yeah, it's the Builder Era, humans, and this is how we do that.